What's up, guys? Yes, it's been a while. Like all of you, I've been spending a ton of time indoors, lots of gaming, not too much serious going on, and not too much Magic, actually. I've just been playing other games recently. I got pretty addicted to Hearthstone Battlegrounds, so I've been playing that a ton with my son, and then the usual gamut of required other gaming obligations on the iPad, which hasn't really left a lot of time for Magic. I've been thinking about it, but without the ability to even play it live, my enthusiasm for Magic playing has tamped down slightly. But I started playing a few games a couple days ago, just for kicks, to revisit some of my Commander decks, see what's going on, and had a couple good games. First I was playing Omnath, and then I switched over into Nin the Pain Artist. So I've got 2 games to record. First one's going to be an Omnath game, which is coming right up, and the next game will be a Nin the Pain Artist game. And hopefully, as long as the replays keep cooperating, I should be able to pump out a steady stream of these if I'm able to find the time and interest to play. So sit back and get ready for some Omnath action. Hopefully you've been looking forward to that. I'm up against Orpheus here, and he's got Damia, Sage of Stone, one of those problematic kind of passive commanders against mono green. If they get a really fast ramp draw, they can just get their guy out while you're still busy doing green things, and it can make it impossible to get back into the game. So I've definitely lost my fair share of matches against Damia and similar commanders with mono green. My hand is sort of borderline keepable, but I believe I'm going first, and that allows me to play turn 1 Elvish Mystic and hopefully cast Nature's Lore. If I draw another land, I can actually cast Nature's Lore and 3 visits on the same turn. Oh, I guess I am going second. All right, I need to not play. He does not have Soul Ring or Crypt, but he does have Mana Vault. Extremely threatening with the 7 mana commander. It's just about one of the best cards you can draw, and I currently don't have any easy way to deal with it outside of natural order. I draw Nissa, who shakes the world. Very powerful, but I'd rather get a forest, I think. Oops, sorry, I'm not going to click too fast here. I just play my Elvish Mystic, obviously. There's nothing else to do. I gotta hope he just doesn't have more ramp cards coming off that Mana Vault, something like a Gilded Lotus or a Thran Dynamo. Polluted Delta. All right. Oh, and he just passes. It's odd to see him fetch like that, but maybe he's got his reasons. I draw a very uncastable 8. All right, this is really looking grim here. If he counterspells this Nature's Lore, I just cannot see a way back into this game. Fortunately, it goes through, but I don't have a second land, so I'm just kind of sitting on my hands here. Not really in parity yet. All right, what's Orpheus up to? He plays Nature's Lore himself. Huh, that's cool. Well, it certainly makes sense why it would be in the deck. Just because he's got to ramp up to his commander, he gets a Bayou and has no additional land. All right, so he's not. If I can deal with the Mana Vault, I'm not really far behind at all here. Right now, I'm thinking what I really want to do is just draw another land here and cast Natural Order, and I would happily sacrifice the Elvish Mystic to nuke all 3 of his lands, especially because he didn't play a land that turn, so I know he does not have any more colored mana. And I get Dryad Arbor, so it's a land that doesn't tap for mana. Very unfortunate. And I like to cast Nissa here over Omnath. Reason for this is that he might have a Wrath of God type effect. Almost certainly is playing some of them in this deck, given that he's black and slow, which means that if I play Omnath and he's got something like Deluge or Damnation, I kind of just get destroyed. I am down to just 2 lands, so Nissa, not as powerful as Omnath right now, but is also an insurance policy against sweepers because it just replaces itself. It guarantees that I'll have a forest next turn. If he doesn't have a sweeper, or even if he kills one of these, I should be able to natural order next turn to deal with all those pesky lands on his side of the battlefield. All right, black, blue, green. Oh, I think he might maybe cast Sultai Charm or something. Instead, he's got even better, Painful Truths for 3. He's got a land to go with it. Full hand. All right. Well, if ever a setup turn was coming here, oh, that's really nice to see too. So I can play that. I'm going to tap the Dryad Arbor, enchant that and make it green. And I decide that I'd rather just keep all my mana intact here. I'm not really anywhere close to flipping the Nissa Vastwood here, and plus there's often ways to regrow it and get another forest. So I decided that that's the card I'm going to actually sacrifice over, say, the Arbor or the Mystic. But yeah, so I just cast 3 visits here. I've got the mana to do it. And I gave some thought there. I did have 5 to just casting Nissa, who shakes the world, but unfortunately That only makes 3 mana here, which is not enough natural order. And I feel like when he's tapped out, this is the opportunity to go and crush some of his lands. So in fact, we're going to go get the big elephant. And I'm targeting Vault and the two, the two blue producers. He's got a third one. The Morphic Pool is just an inferior version of Underground Sea. But I'm doing this. I gave some thought to just killing 3 mana sources, but I feel like that's a little bit greedy, particularly because Mana Vault can enable the other ramping powerful cards like Thran Dynamo, Coalition Relic, even Chromatic Lantern, or certainly Gilded Lotus. So getting this thing off the board, reducing him down to just 2 land, I think has a wider range of favorable outcomes for me, even though it does leave him with some colored mana. It's very nice taking 5 potential mana off the board, particularly after your opponent hasn't actually tapped his Mana Vault yet, too, because he was all set up to play his guy. And it looks like he drew either another land right there or off the Painful Truths. All right, let's see what we got here. Freelies. Very interesting. That would have allowed me to polish off the Mana Vault. So based on the way the board looks, I decided that I'm actually gonna just lead with Omnath here. This is pretty much a bait spell. Figuring if he's got a counterspell, then I can follow up with Greater Good, and then I've got an insurance policy in case he does draw removal for the Terastodon. I can just draw 9 cards and get a +6 hand size overall, which is pretty much unstoppable. And when he has no interaction with the Omnath, I actually decide that it's probably okay for me to cast Greater Good here in a second. Yeah, I'm just going to wait a turn, see what he does. Dig Through Time. Interesting. When he attacks with these two, I know exactly what's happening here. Almost certainly he's going to be casting Damnation or Wrath of God. Or Damnation or Deluge, which really punishes me badly for not playing Greater Good, because if I had Greater Good in play, I think this was me just living too much in fear of Counterspell. I really wanted Greater Good to resolve just because it's so ruinously powerful. But I probably should have just gone for that when he didn't interact with the Omnath at all. I could have just played Greater Good. I don't know how frequently people play Counter Magic in Damia decks. I think it's pretty good to have at least some counter spells, but it is reactive, and you don't want your hand getting choked with counter spells when you are trying to use your commander to just fill the board with stuff. So in retrospect, I probably should have played Greater Good there. Maybe he has a counter for it, but then he wouldn't be able to cast his Dig Through Time. Not that I know that. Anyway, I'm just going to take the hit here and hope he doesn't, in fact, have Damnation. But yeah, sure enough, there's Deluge for 9, which clears off. Makes him take a ton of damage, and it does, unfortunately, kill all 3 of my creatures and my land. But not really far behind. He's got more cards in hand, but I've got a little bit more mana. Regal Force. Not really doing that much. All right, so I decide over these two, I think that if there was a target to kill with Freyalise, I almost certainly would play it. But given the fact that he's tapped out and he's down to 14, I feel that running out the Nissa probably more powerful. All he's got is a Brainstorm in response. And no counterspell, no daze, nothing. Cool. All right, that allows me to hit for 3 here. Take him down to 11. I could just pressure his life total here. He's got Coffer's Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, which is enough mana to just play his commander right now if he wants to. Instead, he plays Song of the Dryads. Interesting card to see in a deck like his. It shuts down Nissa, but now Nissa makes mana another way. And I've still got that Freyalise Mindslaver. Could be interesting later. Thanks to the Nissa, I've got exactly enough mana. Play Freyalise, clear off the Song of the Dryads. Look, tapped Planeswalker. How weird. All right, but tapped Planeswalker still works. That allows me to rope him for 6. Oh, he's got Pongify. Damn. That's too bad. Because I was intending to tap these guys both post-combat and play the Greater Good, but he Pongified my guy, unfortunately. I did get to hit him down to 8, though. So again, continuing to pressure his life total. All right, bunch of mana this turn. And there's Damia with 5 cards in hand, so not that good. All right, he's casting Tainted Pact. Let's see what he reveals. Verdant Catacombs, Whisper, Farseek, Chrome Mox, Strip Mine, Land, Beast Within. This deck definitely looks serious. I'm not sure what's up with that. Curse of the Swine. Not too different from the Damia deck I built ages ago. Obviously, this card didn't exist. Drown in the Loch. And he ultimately, I think, stays on that. Yeah, I'm not sure what card he... Yeah, I think he kept Drown in the Loch. But he's got a 4/4 Death Touch in play right now. 5 cards in hand. And plenty of mana to do everything. All right, Forest. Pretty clutch right there. That is awesome. Because it gives me exactly enough mana thanks to the Nissa who shakes the world. I guess I have an extra 2. But I'm going to make a little guy. And please let this resolve. Mindslaver comes down. Resolves. Oh my god. This card, of all the commander decks I play, and I don't play any decks that are designed to just recur this, like the stupid, the little 1/2 guy that can cast artifacts from the graveyard, which is clearly the best use for Mindslaver that probably exists. That stupid little 1/2 guy that has affinity for artifacts, I don't remember what it's called. It's so bullshit. I can't stand that thing. It's so incredibly unfair in 1v1. One of the most abusive commanders that they've made in ages. It probably won't be banned at all because of it's not nearly as strong in multiplayer, and that's where most of the banning criteria seems to come from. But yeah, if anybody cared about the 1v1 online version of this game still, they probably would ban that guy. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but man, is it so good with Mindslaver. Mindslaver also very, very powerful in mono green, specifically for this reason. It's like it doesn't even matter what else he does. On his next turn, he's going to draw 2, he's going to tap all of his mana, cast some spells, and then just sit here and die to my army of dorks. And I sacrifice the Mindslaver targeting him, and that is the game. Mono green's best interactions of all is that card, probably, in terms of the things that it can do to close out a game. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty enjoyable game. I don't think it was wasn't really terribly behind. I was certainly slower at the beginning, but I was able to resolve that Terrastodon, which really blew the game wide open. He was never really quite able to recover. But hope you guys enjoyed that game. I do have some more Omnath games in the pipeline here. They're not really that exciting, and I switched over to Nin. So I'm going to record a Nin game next. And if you do want to see any other decks while I'm back to playing these commander decks, feel free to post in the comments with your feedback on what decks of mine you'd like to see the most, and I will do my best to play them and have good games. See you guys soon. Bye.